Really, it's all improvisation. I'm like playing a saxophone right now. It's kind of cool. Hi guys, my name is Borodante, and welcome back to the Neonates horror game character creation process. Or like 5 or 6 characters, really. So today is gonna be the part 2 of this 3D sketching of our enemies here. So we already did this guy, and the 2 smaller growing from the ground guys, and the floating guy right here. They're all just 3D sketches. We'll continue with sculpting a more detailed version with maybe adjusting some ideas and everything in the future episode, but today I wanna add another 2 guys. The super tall one, and the big guy with a strong shell. So let's start. Now I'll probably duplicate the first guy. So yeah, let's go ahead and transfer this middle normal kind of enemy into something a bit more dangerous, I guess. Although this guy is not that much of a dangerous, he's very armored. And if you get under his hit of his shell, like he just smashes, it's a very strong hit, but it's kind of slow. Yet it's just really hard to get to the yolk. So we'll see. The whole battle system and balancing of stuff is a future problem. Right now I just want to have them conceptually interesting. And I think I'm leaving quite enough space to make them mechanically interesting as well in the game. Loose parts, please. Alright, so I'll start by probably changing the yolk. So even the yolk is a bit bigger in this case, and let's see how I can quickly destroy this main egg black by remeshing. I think this is way too big. It's always too big. Why is this a default number, I wonder? Just to make sure things don't freeze on someone's device. That's alright. Ooh, it's a good idea to symmetrize right away. Boom. I'll keep this this is looking hilarious. I'll keep the shell pretty thick for now, because thin stuff you don't want to get into that immediately when sculpting. Now, feet we definitely don't need, and, well, I did remesh the hell out of them anyway. So pretty much I'm going with the approach of, you know, heavy remeshing with this just about right balance of the size of the polygons that it's giving me. And just, you know, smooshing details in and inflating where I need thicker stuff, whatever. I'll thicken it up in here a lot. Yes! This is gonna be the one. Yeah, simply after that you just go ahead and remesh again. I should make like a quick shortcut, some kind of Control-Shift-R. Totally gonna do something else, right? No, I'm gonna change shortcut. It already has a shortcut. What is it? Control R. Okay, I'll keep in mind then. So Control R and oh my god, this game is gonna be too good this way. Let's tone it down a bit. I don't think I can handle that level of hype. It would be cyberpunk all over again. Man, Control R is addictive, like I keep pressing it and it's very cool to see how things just adapt and everything on this early stage of sculpting is really good. Okay. Yeah, remember back in the day when I used ZBrush and when it didn't have any kind of, you got it, that Dynamesh analogy, like the thing that keeps adding new polygons as you're making a brushstroke. Before that, it was pretty much just constant remeshing and you use that shortcut, so that was the workflow, so it's really bringing me back. So far, looking like a very expensive chair. Yeah, so this guy is the most interesting to me in terms of making him actually good, because I like the idea overall as a note, you know, the guy with like an arm here and the shell here, but like from the front, I'm not sure how exactly he's really gonna look like. I'm gonna go, like right now I'm working in full symmetry, but later I'll make him actually asymmetrical, kinda like that, somewhat. And the arm will also be like twisted to the opposite side from the shell a little bit. So like full asymmetry on this one. Because he is like somewhat empty in the design already, because there's just this giant menacing shell in front of him, which doesn't bring a lot of details. when you see it attacking you, you know? So there needs to be something else, like asymmetry is one way to do it. If it would be also completely symmetrical the way it is right now, this is not fun to me. Man, I can't wait to start posing these guys. I feel like I'll start my whole animation process and implementing the gameplay, like trying to make the battle system work and everything, you know, all that stuff. With these guys, obviously, because there will be like the core mechanics of the game, really. This is what we're doing now. They're sort of a lot more essential and fundamental to the whole game than all the other, like, bigger characters. Okay, those legs are just very boring sticks. I think that's one of the problems. So yeah, pretty much I got my base here, more or less. Well, I need to add the arm, so I'll add the big hand and try to push it all around to see how I can make it all look much cooler. Oh, this is so cool. Just extruding with this magnifying snake hook. And then just remeshing and getting this block. Okay, that's going a bit too crazy with that magnifying snake hook. I don't care. It's so easy to, you know, smooth details away like this when they stick out like something thin. This is actually more convenient in any case. So I'm trying to search for some interesting definitions here. Seems like the arm is gonna come out of the butt. Seems like we're going with that, guys. Yep. It would be so cool if I would be able, like, this transform tool. It's really useful in combination with like masking, right? You mask something, you invert, then grab this tool, and you can, you know, manipulate, like move your stuff or scale it or rotate it or whatever. All great, but can I like hold, I don't know, Control, Alt, Shift, whatever, so I would be able to move this controller thing, like the pivot point, where I need it to be without transforming anything, because right now I can only transform with it, and I can't rotate this piece of butt like around this point, and I'll be rotating, it will be rotating around this point. Like, such an obvious thing that really needs to be added here is like the ability to quickly. And yeah, you can just make it not work all the way and only probably use the radius of your brush, which is, I mean, it's cool. Can I use it like at 0? Move it here. But that's like a hack, right? Then I can rotate it where I need. But like this mode of being able to move it somewhere while it's not affecting anything, that should be just a quick combination, like some kind of key to hold, so I would be able to do it. Doesn't seem to be available. But yeah, this is one way to do it, really. Honestly, it's like the best way to edit polygons. Even if you're like doing something in the edit mode generally, it's a good idea to switch to a sculpt mode, because in here you have this ability to not turn into some 3D cursor thing or whatever, being able to, you know, define exactly the pivot point you want. The only thing is it like you can't make it snap to points somewhere or something like that, but at least like just if it has to be somewhere, you can do it. But yeah, constantly switching here between these two is a bummer. I mean, really, if you talk about using this elastic mode, what's cool about it is that you can really kind of forget about masking at all, right? You can put it somewhere, increase the radius. The only thing is it doesn't show you any preview on what exactly is being grabbed. And oh, it's because it's actually, it is a real elastic mode, so it's kind of moving almost the whole model a little bit. Well, yeah, that's not the best, so you still need that masking. So anyway, I think I need to break this shell a bit differently. It shouldn't be just rotated, you know, to the side. It needs to be kind of broken off. Oh my god, that ass is really torn apart. I like this approach of, you know, the way Silent Hill monsters are made. A lot of the times things in them are like very insane, like this level of weirdness. But then everything is like a bit covered in just vague, rusty, bloody textures and given this context of some kind of abstraction. So it's like, if you're looking for it, you'll find it, but overall it's like covered with the dust of just a dream, you know? It's kind of cool. Should I apply like this topology toggle for the smooth brush? You know, the brush that you use with any other brush when you hold shift? Because it's kind of useful if it works. It doesn't seem to actually work. Yeah, some brushes, they actually ignore stuff like that. Like, it's still gonna be like blurring both sides here. Yeah, like that. I was definitely working there. So topology was supposed to block that, even with a small radius. No, it's actually totally working. Yeah, thing is, when you use topology, it will block, you know, anything that's very close in space, but far away in the topology. Like, it actually needs to travel like this. But for that, you gotta make sure that the radius of your brush doesn't cover the shortest path to it, because then it will be doing something there as well. But small enough, even if, you know, it would be touching it without the topology toggle. You see, it wasn't touched at all, even though these two things were very close to each other. So yeah, that's cool. That's important, I think, to keep that toggle on at all times. Because a lot of the times when you work with something a little bit thin, like here, like this eggshell, it's kind of thin, but it will be thick for this guy. It's like a strong, big shell. Nonetheless, like it's sometimes there's a problem if you're using a big enough brush size. Like for some reason, I guess I did something like this, and it just at some point just grabs from the other side as well. And yeah, if I turn on topology with this brush, like if I'm close enough to the edge, it will still happen, so there's no complete immunity to it. And one way to fix it is to have the topology enabled smoothing brush. So something like that, you'll be able to, you know, separate the two surfaces and keep working with them. So I'm gonna try and pull off, like this arm just bends normally. It will be bending in here instead of here. So there will be one bend that is like, I'll move this hand, maybe I'll make it even bigger or something. So the wrist will be bending somewhere around here, and then the elbow will be bending here and kind of like fading into the eggshell. That's the plan. Okay, this little hack around is gonna be pretty useful right now. So I moved in elastic mode with 0 brush size this pivot point. Now I turn off elastic and I scale up. And also I can rotate it. Can I? Local? How do I make you remember your angle? You don't rotate with your own rotation. Huh. Not local, not gimbal, whatever that is. None of that works to really tilt this controller permanently. Well, that sucks. It would be really cool to have all of this. I think they kind of introduced all of this functionality in the new versions of ZBrush right now. But I mean, what I can always do is just use this ring right here for rotation. So it's just whatever the angle I need, I just align my camera to it, and that's how you do it. But what I really wanted to do is actually, maybe if I align to view, yeah, I wanted to scale up like this. Yeah, a little bit longer I wanted to make this arm. And yeah, that was the way to do it, I guess. Just using your own view to do that. One thing you can't control with your view though is the actual 3D position of the pivot point. Orientation, yes, but positioning only with the elastic hack. Remesh. Oh, that shouldn't happen. Oh no. Maybe increase the resolution a little bit, like 2 times. Okay, we're entering the actual detailed territory at this point. Let's get back to thinking on the concept a little bit more. So let's introduce that bend in the wrist and the elbow. That's not the way to do it. Oh yeah, this looks very Freudish. I like it. Oh, that's pretty cool. Damn, that's looking pretty cool, like this complex, like almost a dissected corpse look on the inside of the thighs here. Really cool. And yeah, this will all be like this shoulder, I guess, with strong muscles and everything. Alright, I guess this guy is good to go as a 3D sketch. A little bit like this tricep is twisted like this. And this is this shoulder muscle that goes on top of it. And the bicep is over there somehow, maybe. I'll probably make some kind of cool, almost like tree pattern in here of how this muscle is sort of grown on top of this eggshell. Will look pretty cool. But yeah, so far really happy with all that. All that part in there looks pretty dope. Where's our egg yolk? Oh yeah, this is pretty cool. Oh my god. Like at certain angles when you really see the whole concept, it's pretty nuts. Wow, those legs are insane. I was just so close to it, I haven't really analyzed what was going on. I thought maybe to push the legs shapes around a little bit more, and I probably will. Yeah, something a little bit more reasonable, not that insane of a thickness. But this one is too thin actually. Oh my god. I'll probably push the buttocks a bit closer to each other so they would kind of like press onto the hand a little bit, onto the arm here. And this is a bit too intense too, like naked meat in a way, so I'll blur it down a bit like this. And there we have it. That's our big guy neonate. From the front, I mean the front is pretty solved by now, I think. The only thing is, like, maybe I would want to push that eggshell even more to the side somehow. So yeah, I think I'll be sculpting on all of them a lot more of that goop actually, like, you know, covering the yolk a bit, the way I did with Well, like with this ice cream guy or with a crawling guy, right, as well. So this, like, I think there will be a lot more of that when we move on to the detailed sketching. Now, let's do the tall guy. So by the way, the big guy is... I think he should be a bit bigger than this. So, like, at least his shell should get taller than the average guy. I think this way he will feel a bit more intimidating. Like, not so much, like, this is about the height of John, I think, because the normal neonate here, he is a bit shorter to look like a kid. So this one will be about the height, maybe even a little bit higher, like a little bit taller than John. And yeah, but mostly he's intimidating because he's wide and like masculine and everything. And of course it's hard to attack him. I think you'll need to like sort of kill the arm first to expose the egg yolk, and then you attack the egg yolk and it's done. That kind of way. So, now let's do the tall one. I'm gonna probably start with just selecting the egg yolk and then moving it up, but can I do that through all the topologies, like not masking by topology? I'm pretty sure it's here, right? Connected only. No, all of it. There it is. Oh my god. Does he actually have like long legs, or how is it? Legs are like, they should be higher as well. It's not just long torso. It's both. So I'm thinking like this, let's check what actual height this means. So this is 1 meter, like there's a little bit of a thicker line here. This is 1 meter, this is 2 meters, and our guy is a little bit higher than 2 meters. I think that's pretty good. Yeah, like this guy's the whole point is being like ridiculously tall, so just about right. Oh no, I think Blender is tired. Wow, it's really struggling. What's up? What is that? I don't know what that is, but it looks cool. Okay, I'm gonna save, that's for sure, because it seems like Blender is not happy. Now, whatever happened to you, I'm gonna just go ahead and remesh you. Probably will have to do that in the sculpt mode. Wow, this is looking so cool, but what's going on? Something very terrible happened. Oh my god, what's going on inside in there? How did that happen? I'm not sure even if I can remesh this. I would love to see how you remesh. Ooh, great job. Well, yeah, voxel-based stuff usually handles all kinds of trouble. Now let's change everything else. I'm gonna remesh you as well and push your everything around. So yeah, I'm almost posing this guy right away, right? I'm sculpting him in this very non-T-pose situation. But that's like, I literally want him to be just distorted like that at all times. Same as the big guy before, he's also like asymmetrical by design. I'll still kinda, you know, spread his arms around a little bit, but maybe not in this 3D sketch, you know? I feel like the 3D sketch stage can actually go for the actual pose. And then we can, you know, grab it and spread the arms before we continue sculpting more detail. But yeah, I think it's my bad that I didn't do poses before. So way better way to go about it, because we need to define what we really want here. I think I should also follow the previous idea about, you know, making the limbs very deep in their shape, but very narrow from the front. Okay, let's drag out those arms. So yeah, it was fun to drag out these giant arms. I'm in Dentopo for that, obviously. Okay, let's push this part a little bit to the limit, the way I do with all the neonates apparently. So I want to dig into this area in here a little bit. So the strip is attached there, then we have the rib cage on the sides, but it's like a bit open here, and we can see the hole behind that. I won't be making it like go all the way through, just a deep cavity like this, because they are all sort of wrapped in this goop, so... Oh yeah, that's looking fun. And yeah, generally the way I transformed and like hyperbolized whatever these shoulder muscles here into this whole mass that's holding the egg yolk, that's kind of cool. Really, it's all improvisation. I'm like playing a saxophone right now. It's kind of cool. Alright, I guess that'll be it for the tall guy. Man, he turned out like so cool. Much more classical, I guess. Like he was asking for it because like tall and slender kind of character. All the tropes that's been taken before me, so here we go. Pretty solid design, but maybe looking like a lot of characters from other stories, you know? Hopefully like the top part is unique enough. Cool, so cool. I like how I made the arms into like these sausages with a regular shape, like there's some kind of just masses stuffed into them, like some kind of long socks or something. It's kind of cool. But yeah, of course, a lot more definition on this and on all the rest of the guys as well. This one will look so much better when I'll actually get to pose him. He's the most ridiculous right now. Everyone else is so cool. And he is the only one who's totally dumb. I mean, the ice cream is also a bit stupid, so I'll probably search the shape a bit more. I'll probably need to change the proportions a bit, like make the egg yolk bigger and the goop smaller. Like there's a little bit of goop. But yeah, like all of them, of course, require a lot more search. But we most certainly, damn. Most certainly, you know, pushed our concepts to the end. Like, now I can really see how all of them are really cool. A good chance that I'll put this guy on the actual cut parts, so he would be walking around on the smaller pieces there. And maybe because of that, the guy will be a bit smaller altogether. So he wouldn't be another tall guy. He needs to be the big guy, and this is the tall guy. Alright, I just want to see a little bit of a different story here. We need this, you know, these knees to kind of touch each other a little bit to have that reference to female thighs or whatever. So that'll be the main pose. So definitely elbow, knees, whatever it is, need to be bent like this. This is all the difference. Like we really need this to be the default pose. Because this guy was just standing out so much comparing to the rest. Couldn't look at him. But yeah, of course it's nowhere near the posing of this guy. This is fully custom posing here. But really, I'm actually planning to make this guy's limbs to fall a lot closer to the torso, like the way it is in the concept. So he's just falling down like this and you can't even see distinction between the limbs at the top because they're like just like sausages hanging down. So this area will, like the arms will be much closer. So this whole mass, it won't be so wide-shouldered here. It would be a bit more like moved closer. But I'm not doing that because it will be a little bit hard to spread them apart again afterwards for rigging and sculpting all the details and everything. None of them are posed completely perfectly, but yeah, this one is the closest to looking cool. Alright, this is it. Tell me guys what you think about our regular enemy concepts that we got here. In the next episode, we'll probably start sculpting a much more detailed version of this main guy. But for now, this is it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye! Okay, maybe a little bit of this will be looking much better. Oh yeah, this is cool.